And welcome to the GEICO 15 Minutes or Less Coaches Show with the head coach, Doug Wojcik, as always, brought to you by GEICO, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Call GEICO at 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO, or visit them online at geico.com. And with that, we welcome you down to the court here inside TD Arena. As always, good to be back here at home in Charleston. Nice to be back in the warm weather. And Coach, we'll recap the week. It's been a busy week. Let's go all the way back to the beginning of the week, and we'll start with Joe Chealey. It was just before the William and Mary game, and of course, we'll talk about the game up at UNC Wilmington as well. But let's start with Joe Chealey. You find out last week that he's got to have a minor procedure on his knee. How is he, and what's his recovery time like? And I think a lot of people, would like to know what exactly it was with his knee.
Well, he'd been having, basically just a minor procedure, meaning that there was obviously some pain in there and some things floating around. So he had the procedure on Tuesday, and there's a chance he may be able to play by Saturday, but we'll see. I mean, we're not gonna put him in any type of threat for his own health and safety as we go forward. But that was a big blow for us, and certainly a guy that brings a lot of quickness to us and ball handling, and puts a bigger burden on Anthony Stitt now without Joe Chealey in the lineup.
Obviously disappointing not to have him available for you, but the good thing is, for people who don't know, I see him walking around, you do all the time, and when he wasn't practicing and wasn't playing, he was limping so noticeably on that leg. But for him, it seems like obviously this is a good thing for him. He just turned 18 a few months ago. We've always talked about how young he is. He's going to be here a long time, have a great career, so good to just get it cleaned up now.
Well, I mean, when it comes to medical things, I'm not the decision maker. I mean,
yeah.
the trainers and doctors are. They tell me what to do, and I mean, it has to be done. It has to be done. I mean, Ajay has kind of been playing on the same type of knee that Joe has been too, and he's kind of gotten through it pretty well. But Joe is young, and I think the length of the season, I think there were some things there with the knee prior to coming. That's what happens when you get kids in college. You do a lot of things with them. Their medical history, their academic history. There's a lot of tutoring, a lot of different things, a lot of maintenance, a lot of things getting them strength and conditioning programs, getting them to the point where they're bigger, stronger, faster athletes as they go forward.
It's all part of the journey, like we talk about all the time. Well, so you're without Joe Chealey against the William and Mary team that we're trying to get some revenge on, and boy, did you guys really put it together. We've talked about this for a while. You and I were talking about if they could, what's it going to be like when they put it all together, and boy, they sure did. They shot the ball well. They held a good shooting William and Mary team down. It was really a good win for you guys.
Oh, it really was, and made some great adjustments to William and Mary, and really defended Marcus Thornton really, really well, and made shots. And it makes all the difference in the world. Now, every game's a different game, and I say that all the time. I mean, every opponent is a different opponent, and what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are compared to the previous opponents. So we did put it together. We are capable of putting it together, and it was a nice night. I thought everyone enjoyed themselves.
William and Mary was coming off a game where they had hit 16 three-pointers against Wilmington, and they came out just 2 for 16 against you guys. You did a really good job. I think it was Nori who did most of the yeoman's work against Marcus Thornton. Did a great job.
He really did. He's had a great week. He really played well, and it's really happy for him. And we've defended great. The one thing about William and Mary is you really have to defend the three-point line. That's where they score it, and the guys, not just Nori, the whole team did a great job.
Canyon Berry in that game has 17 points. Good to see him scoring the basketball on that one. We talk a lot about the offense in that William and Mary game, but again, you got to talk about the defense. You guys are top 25 in the country in scoring defense and in rebounding, and that's a huge tribute to you guys and your staff.
Well, it is. I mean, I think we're playing to our strengths. I think we're playing to what we have to do to be in games and to win games. The margin of error is not very big, as evidenced by, having Towson in overtime or having Delaware down 20 in their home building and yet losing to Wilmington. So there's not much margin of error, especially with us offensively. We only have so much firepower offensively. So, for us not to be able to defend and rebound, I think it's a tribute to the guys. I think it's a tribute to my assistant coaches that we're that good. We're ranked in something. And it just shows that their effort has been there night in and night out. Now, it doesn't mean that we shoot the ball night in and night out, but the effort has been really, really consistent and constant on the defensive and rebounding ends.
Well, and you and I have talked about this throughout the season on radio coaches shows and pregame shows, that it's tough to get kids to buy in on the defensive end. It just is, and you guys have got them to buy in on the defensive end and on the rebounding, and that's a big credit to you guys.
Well, they know too. I mean, players know they're not dummies. They know what they have to do to try to win games, and we're playing teams that, as I've said, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but some of these teams are really much older with multiple scores. Both opponents this week will be that way, Drexel and Delaware. Towson's that way. William and Mary's that way. And so they want to win. That says a lot more about my players wanting to win and doing the little things it takes to win.
So after the win against William and Mary, you travel up to Wilmington, and tough loss for you guys, obviously. You're up by 10 points with about 9 minutes to go. I thought for sure you guys had gotten over the hump, and eventually obviously goes to double overtime. You guys lose that one, but I know disappointing for you guys after the game. Yeah,
I mean, they had tried to press us earlier in the game. I told them that, hey guys, people are going to press us now. William and Mary didn't know Joe wasn't playing. Hey, people do now, so they'll press us. Handled their press extremely well the entire time. You think that they just pressed us at the end. No, they pressed us early. You just didn't notice because we didn't turn it over. But we turned it over 2 times at critical stage. We were up 6 and turned it over twice, and all of a sudden it's a tie game pretty quickly. And then have our chances, go to overtime, don't score in the first overtime, and get up 4 in the second overtime, and just don't finish it off. And there is a lack of offense there. There's a lack of shooting that night, and as evidenced throughout the season, whether it was before Christmas or after Christmas. That's been our Achilles heel all year.
Yeah, we talk about it all year. Got to make shots. Tough to figure. Anthony Stitt hits, 5 or 6 shots against William and Mary and goes 2 for 12 the other night. So it's just tough when those shots aren't falling, obviously.
Well, there's only so many places you can go.
Yeah.
It's not fair to say, hey, Jonathan Cook, come off the bench. You haven't played for 5 games. Be the savior. Hey, Terrence O'Donohue or Glenn Pierre, come off the bench and help us score more in the post. Right. I mean, it's just, that's not fair. That's we are where we're at. We were 9 deep with Joe before Joe had the surgery, and then of course we played 8 guys at Wilmington, and that may be expanded a little bit, but it's too much to ask of those people. We are, with our experienced players, who we are, and hopefully we can make shots and move forward and stay in a positive realm. I mean, the one thing that we wanted was keep that spirit from Wednesday night. And we did a good job of that. Our staff, our players, we did a good job of that Thursday and Friday, the bus trip up, the shoot around, didn't make shots.
Coach, we'll take a break. When we come back, big week ahead as we head up to Drexel, and also, of course, we'll host Delaware to wrap up the season, and of course, the CAA tournament right around the corner as well. Also, in the second half of the show, we'll talk about Nori Johnson as we feature another one of the seniors here on this year's team. That comes up in the second half of the show here on the GEICO 15 Minutes or Less podcast with Doug Wojcik.
GEICO says, let's make life simpler.
Look, I'm all for modern conveniences. But ask yourself, do you really need a blender with 23 buttons just to chop an onion? At GEICO, we think life should be simpler. So we make it super simple to save on car insurance. Just one click and you could be on your way to saving hundreds. Come on, people. Life doesn't have to be that complicated.
GEICO. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And welcome back inside the 15 Minutes or Less Coaches Podcast, brought to you by GEICO. Coach, as we get to the second half of the show here, let's talk about Nori Johnson. We've been featuring some of the seniors. We'll be saying goodbye to them, believe it or not, already here next week on senior night against Delaware. We talked about Willis. Last week we talked about Anthony Thomas. This week we'll feature Nori Johnson. And he's a great story, Coach. You and I talked early in the season about it's a journey for teams, for coaches, for individual players, and it's been a great journey and a great ride. You've done a really good job with Nori Johnson this year.
Yeah, he's really come a long way. I mean, we've had him for 2 years now, and wasn't a prominent player when we arrived. I mean, he had a really big game, one game at Kent State. That's not a career. And was a part-time starter just due to Anthony Stitt breaking his wrist when he was a sophomore. So, his journey has been one where he's really become a prominent player for us. He's really kind of helped us with our deficiencies, and that's scoring the basketball. His strength is shooting, but he's really become a great post passer, and he's really become an exceptional defender. He's played to his role. I'm really proud of the way he's played this second semester, and I think he's on his way to a degree in the spring, and who knows after that. But I couldn't say nothing but great things about Nori and the way he's sort of kind of hung in there and had a productive senior year.
So let's hear from Nori Johnson, this week's one-on-one senior feature here at the College of Charleston. All right, we're here with Nori Johnson. Nori, congratulations. It's been a big year for you. I just kind of wanted to take time to honor you and your career. And I was talking with Anthony Thomas last week. We've been featuring all the seniors, and this week it's your turn. And I know it's tough right now. You guys got a couple big games this week and the CAA tournament coming up. But just wanted to try and look back on your career and your memories of coming to the College of Charleston. And it's been a big season for you. You didn't play a whole lot in that first semester, and then, boy, you really came on. You've ended up having a great year this year.
Yeah, I mean, just recapping my whole career. I mean, I love the College of Charleston. I mean, I don't regret it at all. I mean, we had some great years. I mean, my freshman year I didn't play much, but I got to learn from guys like Andrew Gowlock and Donovan Monroe and Antoine Wiggins and play with those guys. So it was fun, and we created some good memories. But this year, I mean, it's been kind of tough. It's been up and down. But we just taking it, taking it one game at a time. So I'm just ready to go up here and just, win this last game and, take care of business.
I remember you and I talking on the plane just a couple of weeks ago. I know the record is not where you guys would like to have it right now as far as your conference record goes, but that's the fun thing about being at this level is that it all comes down to playing in March and in Baltimore, and you guys can still make a great run. I know you and Willis and AT and Judson, all the seniors looking forward to try and do that. Yeah,
we're trying to go out big, This last few games, go out, with some momentum into the tournament. That's what we want to do, and I still feel like we can make a run in that tournament, get to the NCAA tournament. I think that's something we can do, and that'll be a huge accomplishment for the program.
So when you look back on your career here, is there one moment that stands out? I mean, I'll never forget your Kent State game. I mean, you single-handedly won that game for us, but what moment sticks out for you?
I think it was that moment. I almost didn't know I had it in me. And so that gave me a lot of confidence going into the rest of my career, and that'll always be a big game to me.
That was a big game for you. Now, when you look back on your career growing up as a kid, how did you come to the College of Charleston? When did you realize that basketball was something that you could actually do and be really good at?
Well, I realized I was pretty good, probably about 8th grade, but I never played. I started playing in 9th grade, so kind of took off from there, gained a passion for it, and that's what got me here.
I didn't realize that. You never played until 9th grade?
Yeah, I didn't play until 9th grade.
It's pretty good for not starting until 9th grade. He's got a pretty good shot. All right, so where do you see your future going now? Again, I know it's tough to look forward on that. You guys got a lot of work to do between now and then, but after you graduate and get your degree, what do you plan on doing next?
If an opportunity comes up to play, I obviously I want to continue my career, but if it's not the right situation, if that's not my calling, then I'll just try to, figure out what I really want to do. Maybe stay in the Charleston area and work, try to find a good job, internship or something like that.
Not a bad place to live here.
No, not at all.
So what do you do for fun? I know it's tough. You guys got very busy, obviously, with travel and everything, but when you guys get some free time, what do you enjoy doing?
I mean, just hanging out with the guys, playing video games. We go, if it's summertime, we'll go to the beach or something. Just hanging out around campus. During the season, you don't really get to, too much free time. But, yeah, it's pretty much.
All right, well, congratulations again on your career here. It's been great following you over the last 4 years. Of good luck here down the stretch.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
That's Nori Johnson, again, one of the seniors we've been honoring. And, again, we will have Senior Day coming up on Saturday here inside TD Arena. Again, that was our feature with Nori Johnson, really becoming a complete player, as you talked about, even his defense improving. We talked about what a great job he did on Marcus Thornton just the other night against William and Mary. Coach, to wrap things up, I'd like to ask you about how you prepare for the CAA tournament this time of year. We got a big week against Drexel and Delaware this week.
We really do. I mean, Drexel, to our fans, beat Delaware at Delaware yesterday in their senior day. So that was an impressive win. I think they're getting healthier. They've got two terrific scores in Fouch and Massanet, and we've got to do a good job there with them. And then, of course, Saturday, which is Legends Weekend here too. We're going to honor our first NCAA tournament team. as well as the seniors. So, and you have the #1 team in the league coming in. I don't see Towson catching Delaware. It looks like they'll be the preseason or the regular season champions. So, and they've got a 2,000-point scorer in Sadler, and the Usher kid had 42 on us. So we got a big week ahead of us, and we're going to head up to Philly tomorrow and see what we can do on Wednesday night against Drexel.
Too much work to do here this week. We'll talk about the CA tournament next week. But don't forget senior night here on Saturday against Delaware. If you're interested in tickets, call 953-CFC. That's 953-CFC, or go online, cofcsports.com. Good luck this week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Joe.
That's Doug Wojcik, head coach for the Cougars. I'm Jeff McCarriger. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again next week.